Hi, my name is Karen Carstens, I'm a Danish jeweler, and today I want to try to answer a question which I get rather often in my shop. The question is, why do you mostly see diamonds in engagement rings? Can't you use all sorts of beautiful gems? And the answer is, of course you can use any gem you want, but it's basically a question of hardness, of durability. So in order to explain that, I need to take you to the realm of physics. So we're going a bit to school now. I want you to meet someone called Friedrich Mohs. He was a German geologist, and around 1800 he developed a very interesting way of ordering gems, minerals, in order of scratchability. So what do you mean by scratchability? Well, it is rather simple. He went by it in a very simple way. He basically took one piece of mineral and another piece of mineral and rubbed them together, and whichever left a mark on the other one obviously had to be the harder one. And in that way he worked through a lot of different minerals and was eventually able to order them all in a line reaching from 1 to 10, where 1 was talc and salt and 10 was diamonds. So this scale of relative hardness which Mohs developed actually isn't just going in a linear line, it has a curve. And this is where it gets really interesting, because yes, we start with salt and chalk and stuff, and then we work up through the various minerals, and we end around corundum. Corundum are sapphires and rubies. They are on place 9. Corundum are actually twice as hard as topaz, which are down on place 8. So they're already very hard. But diamonds, they are up here. So the diamonds are 4 times as hard as corundum. And there you see. Diamonds are a very good choice for engagement rings, because your engagement ring is hopefully a ring that you're going to wear for the rest of your life. However, you can also choose corundum. And what is corundum? As I just said, yes, it's sapphire and ruby. So that means now that you have white diamonds, blue sapphires and red rubies, you think. Not true. Actually, you can get an entire rainbow of beautiful colors with both sorts of gems, because corundum is the same sort of gem, and that means, yes, that sapphires and rubies are actually the same thing. The only thing that is dividing those two is the actual hue of the color. Rubies are sort of cold red, magenta you would call it, whereas sapphires, which, as I said, have all colors, you can have yellow, green, purple, whatever, their reds are warm. So we have yellow, orange, warm red. When it gets to cold red, it's a ruby. So all those you can use in a wedding ring. They will still get a bit scratched, but it will take a lifetime. So consider this with the scratches. What exactly do I mean? How does it look? Well, when we have our gems, which are usually facet cut, so there's a table, then there's a facet like this, it goes around, and then they cut it, yeah? So where the facets meet, right here, the edge, that is where the problem will arise, because this is where it gets scratched and where it will get the most wear and tear. Because consider how many times you take your hand and put it into a pocket, or reach into a drawer, or in a bag, etc, etc, etc. Every time you do that, whatever you're wearing on your hands will get scratched. That is not a problem with a diamond. It will be a problem eventually with corundum, but it's a lifetime. So if you get an engagement ring in your 20s with a sapphire, by the time you are carried out feet first, yes, where the facets meet that edge will start to have worn down. But that's a full lifetime, hopefully. The diamonds, well, they are made for a lot longer. They are made for heirlooms, to be honest. However, there is one thing that we need to consider with any mineral or gem, and that is cleavage. And no, we're not talking about this one. We are talking about the gem's ability or natural tendency to get cleaved when it's being hit at the exact right angle. Now that changes from gem to gem, and there are some exceptions, I have to say, but most gems have points where if they're being hit there, they will cleave. Imagine that it's a bit like a piece of wood, and you have the wood grain which runs into one direction, and if you put your axe in at the end, it will split beautifully, but if you're going to go through, then it takes a lot more effort to actually hack your way through the wood. Same thing with gems. Therefore, you actually also need to consider the setting of the gem. So if you choose to set your diamond or sapphire or any other gem for that matter in a claw setting, so claws coming up holding the gem, then you might be asking for trouble, because obviously wherever the claw is not covering the girdle, the widest part of the gem, it's exposed. And that means that if you get some sort of blow on that side, which then also unfortunately happens to be that exact point where there is cleavage, you might actually experience that a piece of the diamond will chip off, or it will sort of make a fraction or fracture. You can avoid that by choosing a setting which is encompassing the entire girdle of the gem, and so protecting it a lot more. That might also over a full lifetime be worn a bit down and might need to be replaced if it gets really worn, but it will protect the gem. So as a jeweler, of course I will put any gem in your rings, whichever gem you want. Of course, your choice. However, I want you to make an informed choice, and I hope that you feel a bit more informed now. Oh yes, I totally forgot. This is of course the part where I'm saying that if you want more videos like this, make sure to follow me.